Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Group Chat. We have a sad day.
Very sad.
Don't really know how else to say it. An absolute icon passed away today, and we're just going to talk about it. We're going to talk about his impact. Talk about how we feel.
Yeah.
After that, we do talk a little bit about our Thanksgiving experiences and just general Black Friday, what's going on. But I think the most important part is remembering a legend.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, Group Chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
Man, rest in peace to the GOAT.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, did you guys know that Virgil was battling cancer?
I had heard from just friends who are friends with him that said that he was sick, and there was a period where we had heard that, you know, he was taking a break. He kind of went on this like insane run.
Yeah.
And people had said because it was for health reasons. I just figured it was like overexhaustion. Like the guy did so much in like a 2-year span. And then obviously everyone heard the news today that Virgil Abloh died on November 28th, 2021. And he's 41 years old. He had a wife that he was married to since 2009, Shannon Abloh. He had 2 children.
Yeah.
What's crazy about it is, like, for me specifically, put aside the fact that he's obviously like an icon in our industry. He's 41 years old. That's how old I am. He is married with 2 kids.
Yeah.
And you don't think, when you go throughout your day at that age, at that time in your life, that you can die.
Yeah.
You just don't think about it.
Yeah.
I don't think about it.
Yeah.
And I think here's a person that probably had all the resources from a medical standpoint to get whatever help that he needed. And even he was, not above that.
Yeah.
And I think that part was really, really fucked me up because I'm just like,
it's
damn.
scary.
It's really scary just to see someone same age, it's kind of, obviously different life, but like, when it's all said and done, you're married with 2 kids, 41 years old. I mean,
he's 1980 born.
In 1980, I mean, he's September 30th, 1980.
Yeah.
I'm September 3rd, 1980. And I was just thinking, I was like, fuck. And what's crazy is like, we got a front row seat to like his rise in, fashion. And I vividly remember the first time I saw a Pyrex shirt. And it was on Jay-Z. And Pyrex was the first brand Virgil did.
Mm-hmm.
And he was screen printing Pyrex on vintage Ralph Lauren. And I saw Jay-Z. And this is a time when Jay-Z wore something, everyone's like, what the fuck is that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you went on the internet or whatever. You asked somebody when someone said, oh, this is the Virgil Abloh's brand. I'm like, oh, who's that? And he's like, oh, he's Kanye's creative director. I was like, oh, wow, okay, that's a big deal. That brand he ended up shutting down, and then he subsequently launched Off-White.
I think it'd be important because how important he has been to the culture to kind of just talk about his background.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you guys probably know it better than most.
Yeah.
So how did he come up? How did he become Virgil?
Yeah, I think the most fascinating thing about him is he went to undergrad at University of Wisconsin, Madison, graduated in civil engineering. Then he went on to get his master's, I think at the Illinois Institute of Technology, in architecture.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rumor goes it that he met Kanye at like a Chicago print shop. And I assume what gravitated Kanye to Virgil, this is a complete assumption, is Kanye is a guy that knows he had the taste, he had the creativity, but didn't have like the fundamentals to execute it.
Mm-hmm.
This is pure speculation. And then here comes a guy that's like actually educated
Mm-hmm.
in design.
Well, Kanye said that before. Kanye
Okay.
said that he is like, the roles that those two played was Kanye had these really wild out there ideas and Virgil knew how to actually do things.
Yeah.
And that's why their partnership was so fruitful.
Yeah. And I think like, you know, when you think about a designer in today's era, most folks are probably sketching in their room, learning off YouTube, and, you know, starting their design career, which is great, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That social media allows you to do that today.
Mm-hmm.
He's older. He's 41. He was 41 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So he went to school
Mm-hmm.
for civil engineering. He went to school for architecture.
Mm-hmm.
And he obviously caught the eye of, you know, arguably the most important artist,
Mm-hmm.
you know, of the last, you know, 25, 30 years. And they went on to have an incredible run. And, you know, to realize like that crew, it was Virgil was kind of Kanye's creative guy.
Mm-hmm.
And they did all those albums,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Watch the Throne. And, you know, he was with them with all those albums.
Mm-hmm.
And there was also like Jerry Lorenzo there and Heron Preston and
Mhm.
Ivan Jasper, like who are all like very successful in their own right now. And Kanye kind of gave that trust to Virgil. And, you know, the thing I liked about today, everyone's posting all their stories and their communication with him. There was no mention of Kanye West in any of those conversations.
Mhm.
He had clearly solidified himself as this beast of a creative
Mm-hmm.
that did not rely on other people. Because I remember when he was coming up, I was like, he's a Kanye guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not hear that from one person.
Yeah, that's what I felt like was maybe a slight oversight or whatever by Kanye is Kanye dedicated Sunday service to Virgil today.
Okay.
And it said dedicated to Virgil Abloh, creative director of Donda.
I mean, that's condescending.
It just felt to me like, I don't know. I'm sure he meant it well.
Yeah.
I'm sure he meant it like, this is my guy.
This is the highest honor he could give him.
But I think that is like, that is a really big deal that he made it out from that and became his own name,
Yeah.
you know? And like I said, I don't know. I feel like that was something that someone should have said, let's do this a little different.
Yeah. And you know, Virgil goes on to do the Off-White brand and he ends up
Remember
partnering.
Ben Trill?
Ben Trill at PacSun.
That thing.
Blew up overnight.
Remember that? This is what's so crazy. Early Virgil is that damn flannel,
Yes.
that Pyrex flannel,
Yeah.
which was then every brand, even Young and Reckless, made
Yeah,
flannels with screen printing.
Yes.
And then
We literally copied it
Yeah.
with the tail on the
Yes.
back, Reckless.
Yes, and then Ben Trill, when they sold at PacSun, it was like nothing could touch it.
Yeah. It was the highest
Selling
one.
wise, it sold nonstop.
I remember PacSun had such a unique relationship with Kanye and Virgil and obviously now Jerry Lorenzo. Like they were early on that whole camp and all those projects they were doing with them. And it was, you saw it happen. Like we were witnessing Virgil Abloh become this like star. And you kind of, Ben Trill was like one thing, Pyrex was one thing.
Yeah.
And then when Off-White happened,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember the first time, so I'd heard of the brand, I saw it popping up in places, and it was in all the hot stores around America, but we were on a trip to Hong Kong on a buying trip, and we were heading to China for work, and Andres, my partner in 5'4", was like, we got to go to the Off-White store in Hong Kong. They just opened one.
Mm-hmm.
This is years ago. It's like the first store, you know, that I believe one of the first stores he had opened. And it was a small little store in like the hot part of Hong Kong, like shopping district. And we walked in. There was like a handful of items.
How many years ago was this?
It was a while ago.
Like over 5?
Yeah, probably. And I remember walking in and I was like, this just feels special. Even the way he had done it, designed it. Like I kind of had goosebumps just walking in because Virgil felt like a peer just because we saw him.
Yeah.
We saw his rise happen. So I was like, wow, this guy did it. He had a store in Hong Kong. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And then after that, I mean, he had probably the most epic run in, I would say, culture history.
Yeah.
Because it was,
He had nothing bigger.
because here's the thing, to me, he was a Renaissance man because he wasn't, you couldn't pigeonhole him as a designer because he was designing clothes one day. He had a Gagosian gallery with Murakami, and then he DJ'd the hottest party the same night. And I remember, man, just seeing him in that run. First of all, on his been countless times. He used to DJ with his whole crew an Art Basel party at Soho House in the tent.
Yeah.
And it would be like 80s, and it was like a fun, it was an actual
epic.
party.
It was literally epic. Like the Soho House, like Art Basel
tent
party tent on the beach.
Yeah.
And Virgil's DJing.
Yeah.
It was literally like this, like, just like cultural moment.
Yeah, it felt special.
It just felt like, I can't believe.
And I remember, he was doing that party, and he was still like in more of like, oh, the cool kids knew who he was, and he wasn't like so mainstream yet.
Yeah.
And then I think his shoe had just dropped with Nike, and everyone was going up to him, and he was writing on the shoes for everyone, like whatever, Dreamer or whatever. Like he was doing his thing. And
that'd be so cool to have now.
Yeah.
Like, because he always, especially for like celebrities and stuff, he always wrote Virgil was here.
Yeah.
And then like Air, LeBron or whatever.
Yeah. And seeing during that time period, I think the thing that was most exciting was like, I remember, one night I'm in LA, next night I'm in Miami. It's in LA, it was Virgil. In Miami, it was Virgil. In New York, it was Virgil.
And then Vegas
Fashion Week, Virgil.
Vegas was Virgil.
Vegas, he had a residency at the Wynn. Virgil.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yes. And I remember I was like,
He had a residency.
I remember there was like a stretch where like, man, this guy is everywhere. And then every single city, it was like a special merch drop, special collection. He had a Chrome Hearts collab. He had an Evian drop. He just was everywhere.
Yeah.
Like I had never seen someone just, I remember there was an article years ago and when 2 Chainz, that year he finally popped, GQ did an article. I remember at the end of the year, they said, I don't remember exactly how the title was like, 2 Chainz did like 95 songs this year. What did you do?
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it. I think it was 2017 or 18. It was the year that he did all these things. And thinking like, this guy has done so much in 1 year.
Yeah.
And I didn't even feel that he was overexposed. And I'm privileged to have even gotten access to go to everything.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think it was 2018 summer or 2019 summer. I'm sure someone who follows him closer would know this. He did a Villa Burquin collaboration with Off-White. And Villa Burquin is like a luxury swimwear
Just rich
brand.
guy swim shorts.
Got it.
Very rich.
I didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
Rich guy swim shorts, like $400 swim shorts.
Yeah, $400 or $500. And a friend of mine had called me and said, hey, I saw you in Paris. I want to get for my kids the Off-White Villa Burquin collection.
Yeah.
Can you please go? I was like, yeah, of course. I'm like, I'm actually just walking around by myself right now. I'll go find it.
Yeah.
I went to 2 Villa Burquin stores, and I mean, they were literally $5.50 a short.
Yeah.
They're like, we have 28 available, size 28, and nothing else. I'm like, it just dropped yesterday. And like, there's nothing. There's not a pair in Europe.
Yeah.
And even that summer, he had a pop-up in Mykonos. And I go on Instagram, he's DJing it.
Yeah.
Like, you're talking about a guy, he created the collection.
Yeah.
He created the marketing for it and DJed the party.
Yeah.
He's like all time. Like, no one does that shit.
You know, like, it actually like made me really reflect, like just the industry we've been in for the last 20 years, right? Like, I remember being at the Magic convention show when I was like 18, 19 years old. So like over 20 years ago, right? About 20 years ago. And what did we care about? We cared about hip hop culture. So Jay-Z and Dame Dash standing outside the Rockwear booth.
Yeah.
Nelly outside the Apple Bottom booth. Puffy outside the Sean booth.
Yeah.
And that all seemed like we were on the fringes.
Yeah.
Right? Like that at that point, like we all bought into hip hop culture.
Yeah.
And bought into streetwear, but that wasn't mainstream.
Yeah.
And we were always like, we were suburban kids that just were like bought into this like lifestyle culture.
Yeah.
And I feel like Virgil's like rise brought it to mainstream.
Yeah.
And I would say it brought it mainstream globally because when you went to, I remember like walking around Hong Kong, I'm like, how the fuck is everyone wearing Off-White?
Yeah.
Forget Hong Kong. I remember pre-pandemic, I would see like tourists at the Grove wearing Off-White. And I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like it's here.
Yeah.
I mean, streetwear has made it to as mainstream, like fucking tourists at the fucking Grove are wearing Off-White.
I mean, forget it. I mean, I see it. I can't even tell you how much Off-White I see at my preschool drop-off.
Right now?
Right now.
Yeah.
Like last week, moms, dads wearing Off-White, either the collab or a handbag or a sweatshirt. Like
that's crazy.
He has he did something that was like really, really hard, which is like as a black male, fucking be global.
Yeah.
It's not easy because there's a lot of prejudice globally.
Well, and also let me just add to that because it's not only just a black male, but he lived the hip hop culture. He had photos even skateboarding, and he was very much like skate hip hop culture. It wasn't like the black guy in the suit and tie fitting into the boardroom.
No, he dressed how he dressed.
Yeah, that's what to me is so impressive. And to me, like I would say that like when to Anand's point, like hip hop became the biggest genre in the world. And he was the designer for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like there's no one else even close to being.
And that's why he got the best job in the world.
Yeah.
Which is artistic director at Louis Vuitton. Which, if you're in fashion, Louis Vuitton is like the fucking top of the world.
Yeah.
And I would say, Nike is there.
Yeah.
But we don't, besides Tinker Hatfield, people don't know Nike designers.
Yeah.
When you work at a luxury house, people are like, I love the, Hedi Slimane years at Dior.
Yeah.
Like Phoebe Philo at Celine, they know the years that the designer worked.
And if you think about it, like, I'd credit Virgil to be like, I can show up in Delilah with a snapback and a hoodie and be totally fine.
Yeah. It's fucking wild. The fact
Forget Delilah. I'm saying Paris Fashion Week.
Sure, any of it. But my point is that is like, it's okay to like dress the culture at the nicest and fanciest places in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think like the thing about him is that like because people loved him so much from a creative standpoint, and then you add musically, I remember like, so there was like probably a period, maybe 10, 12, 13 years ago, I was super into house music. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, I never want to hear this shit ever again. Mm-hmm. Like I was like, dude, forget all these guys. Like it's such a fucking rap.
It lasted 3 months.
Yeah, I'd say it lasted a good 2 years. And then I remember in Miami, I think it was at like, I forgot what this place was. Virgil was playing deep house. And I was like, fuck, I kind of like it now again.
I know exactly what it was. It was Art Basel.
Beats by Dre party.
Yes, it was right by that warehouse by 11.
Right by 11.
Next to Space.
I know exactly
Maybe
where
it
that
Space.
was. Maybe it was Space.
It was next to Space.
Next to Space. It was a small area.
Yeah, we went. It was a Beats by Dre party.
We were there.
Yeah, and I remember I was like, and then he had, I think, Black Coffee.
Yeah, it was Virgil and Black Coffee.
Yep.
And just hearing like, to me, he was such a tastemaker, and his design, people always, I would read the comments and be like, oh, what did you didn't create anything new. And there's an incredible lecture that everyone's posting that I watched it years ago. He did a lecture at Harvard, and I think Columbia also. And they're phenomenal, especially if one, you're into fashion at all or anything creative.
Yeah.
He talks about like how he thinks about design. And, you know, one of the comments he made was like, when he was designing his Nike collab, he was like, or even the Off-White shoe, he's like, I don't necessarily want a new shoe. I just want my version of the Air Force One.
Yeah.
And if you look at Off-White shoes, the silhouette is an Air Force One.
Yeah.
And his collection with Nike Air Force Ones, Jordan ones, whatever, all of it is like his interpretation of what he thinks is the best silhouette. And I think like a lot of designers don't get credit for like just realizing like something already great has been made.
Yeah.
Why don't I just give my interpretation of it?
Yeah.
And I thought that was always very clever of him from a design standpoint, because it's easy to go on this tangent and design like some fucking space shoe.
Yeah.
That's just madness. But I remember when I saw that first Off-White Nike collab and I was like, fuck, I want all this.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It was so fucking good.
He was unmatched. Like even the Ramoa collab, like it was actually good. Like it wasn't just like the hype of, oh, it's his thing.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like you wanted all of it. And then he moves on to Louis Vuitton. And that shit was instant. That first fashion show that was outside. It was in the summer. And like,
is that the one where him and Kanye reconnected?
Yeah. And you saw like the thing about him, and you're gonna see a lot of people posting, especially like a lot of our friends in fashion who worked with him. This guy brought people up.
Mm-hmm.
Like he had skaters in there. He had he just had kids up in there. I remember,
Zach B was front row.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I was in Paris during Fashion Week for that, and I didn't know him, so I couldn't get in. But I remember vividly. I met up with a bunch of kids afterwards, like Shane from Midnight Studios and all these guys, like Corey, and I remember they were all like. They were taking like the keychains off the table and like the little, they were like, this is fucking bananas.
Yeah.
Like I remember hanging out with them afterwards and they're like, this was it.
Yeah.
Like our guy made it.
Yeah.
And being, you have to realize, like, think about it. It's not only streetwear came to Louis Vuitton, hip hop came to Louis Vuitton, black male designer came to Louis Vuitton. He brought like, I can't even imagine who the fuck is going to take that job. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, man, who would even like have the balls to take that job?
Yeah.
It's not even just about money. It's just like, who's going to follow Virgil Abloh?
Yeah.
I can't even, like, they got to leave it vacant for a while.
I wonder if he like designed a bunch of stuff because, he obviously got the diagnosis years ago.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if he like designed a bunch of stuff that's.
I bet you there's so many things he's already done that hopefully we'll get to see and it comes out. And I was also thinking,
it's kind of. I don't want to like. It's different, like totally from like a monetary standpoint, but it's almost like Steve Jobs, Tim Cook.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is there like Virgil? In theory, is like kind of Steve Jobs of streetwear.
Yeah.
Right. And who's going to come and just monetize the business? Because now the business is immortalized.
Yeah.
Right? Off-White is immortalized.
Yeah.
It is going to be bigger than ever because Virgil died at 41 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And we're never going to get to see all this new product.
Sure. And like he's now like just this iconic figure.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. It's.
The problem is with that is really nothing that he did was bigger than like himself,
He was it.
Like Off-White isn't bigger than Virgil, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The Louis stuff is all him. That's what to me was so mind blowing is like, I don't know of any, you could probably say that there are bigger designers, right? Like whatever, Ralph Lauren or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but financially.
Yeah, but I just
impact, I don't think there is.
I also think we're definitely biased because that's our culture.
No, but
like we grew up in this shit. So we grew up in streetwear.
I'll tell you the one thing that's different is just look on social media. This guy was talking to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everyone is sharing a story. Everyone had a conversation with him. And I've been in apparel 20 years. I don't fucking know Ralph Lauren.
Yeah.
And I've sold $500 million of clothes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. So but Virgil knew every skater, every kid. Like he was very humble despite who he was.
Yeah, and I just don't, some people might think I'm crazy for saying this, but this is my generation, my opinion, is Ralph Lauren, sure, was a great designer, like really nailed that look.
Yeah.
The brand is larger than life, has done who knows how much in business. But like Ralph Lauren isn't DJ in his party, or he's not like, there was this thing about, like you said, him touching all areas, and every collab he did was on point, and everything, and DJing parties and putting out mixtapes and all this different stuff that I just don't think you can compare.
And he put on, I remember when
So just to like kind of touch on what you said is, I think Ralph Lauren was intentionally exclusive and Virgil was intentionally inclusive. How many people on Instagram that are our friends had pictures of Virgil?
Yeah,
not just pictures.
Literally everyone.
Yeah.
Conversations. Like,
well, and I think to honest point, pictures like eating dinner with him. It wasn't like they saw him in the street.
Yeah, exactly.
Like asked for an autograph.
Yeah.
Literally, I was like, okay, so everyone I know knows Virgil.
Yeah, and I think the cool thing about it was like, this guy, I mean, this is a great, I think, a life lesson for everyone who's listening is this man lived to the fullest, right? Like he did everything he wanted to do. He wanted to DJ, he wanted to do art, he wanted to design, he wanted to help people, he wanted to be the biggest designer in the world. He did it all, and like you could do it all. It's up to you at the end of the day. Like I'm sure Virgil at the end of the day and in 2018, he was fucking tired.
Yeah.
I mean, the man did something we've never seen in fashion.
Yeah, for the record, if he would have said, I'm retiring, I collected the bag, I would have been like, fair enough.
Yeah, you did it. You really did it. And I think the thing that like bothers me so much is that he basically is responsible for so much of like this new generation creativity.
Yeah.
Because you see how people like idolize him. They were idolizing him. Like I remember, Rusty. So I'll share a private story. Rusty, he's at 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
He has his brand High Ground.
Yeah.
And I was out with the LVMH people a few weeks ago, and they were like, oh, we met Rusty. We really like his stuff. He goes, Rusty texts me, he goes, tell them, help me with that Virgil Abloh collab. That's like my dream.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to get it done.
Yeah.
So I tell our friends at LVMH, I'm like, we got to get Rusty his Virgil Abloh collab.
Yeah.
Like that's what he needs. Like and that was in the back of Rusty's head this whole time. And I can imagine there's thousands, millions of kids who knew if like, man, if I can get 5 minutes with Virgil, like it would
Rusty
change my life.
posted that Instagram
Yeah.
of him walking up to Virgil
Yeah.
and talking to him. Like
I remember when he did and that happened, he messaged me. He was like, I just talked to Virgil. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
And so I can imagine so many people that he's interacted with. Because like, here's the thing. Like, he's a rock star when it comes to who he is in the culture. But he felt accessible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's a married 41-year-old with 2 kids. He grew up skateboarding, went to college. Like, we know that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
We know tons of those guys.
I will say, Bobby Hundreds does a great job of just explaining like the genesis of streetwear is to be inclusive.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone's part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like he does a great job of like kind of just explaining it. And Virgil's obviously an incredible job of like actually living it.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that Rusty can go up to him
Mm-hmm.
and talk to him for like 2 minutes
Mm-hmm.
and like tell him his story and what and like, that's what streetwear is. Streetwear is like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just like we've all been in this industry for so long,
Mm-hmm.
but streetwear was basically like bringing the fringes to the center.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what else kills me too, that you guys are kind of touching on, is we didn't know him personally, but I never heard a bad story.
Yeah.
Never.
Like he seemed like the nicest. Even in interviews,
Oh yeah.
I never heard. You never heard a rumor. You never heard of nothing other than positive things. And I'm not talking now when everyone says the most positive things. I'm talking.
Yeah, all these years. I remember I would even ask the people he worked with. I'm like, how's Virgil work with? Fucking class act.
Yeah.
Like the best person we've ever worked with. So responsive. Always on top of things. That's not normal in our industry.
Yeah.
There's shit bags that won't respond. Shit bags.
Yeah.
Like you're completely irrelevant and you won't respond.
Yeah.
Here's basically the best designer
Most relevant person ever
in our culture.
Yeah.
And he's on top of it. And I think I don't know, man. When I heard that, I was like devastated. Literally, I was feeding one of our children, and all of a sudden my phone just goes like text messages, and I was like, "What the fuck just happened?" I knew it was bad because no one all of a sudden just text me.
Celebrates you.
Yeah, and it's not good news.
Yeah.
And I was like, I couldn't believe it, and I think for everyone, you should watch that Harvard video. It's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
You should. I don't know, if you own some shit, wear it.
It's just scary, man. It's just like just person to person level. It just feels like there's still just that thing, that cancer, like that can creep up, and there's nothing you can do. Like you said, like he had access to as good of healthcare as you can possibly get.
Yeah.
And there's just nothing you can do.
Yeah. Think about Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah. It's gnarly.
Yeah.
It's just like, ugh.
I mean, I think cancer is fucking scary.
It's just because there's nothing you can do. It's not like, you were eating this thing, or you were.
It's not like a DUI or it's like literally like no fault of yours.
No.
And
that's so young.
Dude, 41. I mean, I remember I was talking to someone the other day and they were talking about someone that passed was like 70. And I was like, man, fucking 70's young.
I know.
Like as a 41-year-old, 70 feels very close.
Yeah.
And to hear someone pass at 70, I was like, I was sad. I was like, damn, I'm sorry to hear.
Yeah.
And I think, everyone's talking, whenever things like this happen, people always, life is too short, live your life to the fullest. But like, if you really believe that, then you got to live like Virgil, because he did it all.
Yeah.
He was one day he was designing clothes. The next day he was doing an art gallery. The next day he was DJing a party. He raised 2 kids.
Yeah.
He had a wife.
Yeah.
What didn't this man do?
It's pretty crazy.
He was still married. He still was involved with his children's lives. It's not like some of the other people in our world who are just AWOL.
Yeah.
He's fucking there.
Yeah.
Living in Paris, living in Chicago. And you know what actually really pissed me off? This is pre even knowing passing. I was watching that Drink Champs interview with Kanye, and he kept referring to him as his assistant.
Yeah.
And I was like,
wait, really?
Yes. And I remember watching that. I'm like, that's fucking Virgil Abloh you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, shut your fucking mouth.
Yeah.
I was like, I get it. You were, helpful in putting him on, but like, you can't just be condescending. You couldn't imagine this man, Kanye West, billionaire, transcended all these different things, was still jealous of him.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? Like at that level.
As of like 2 weeks ago, right?
2 weeks ago. Yeah.
I mean, I know we weren't privy to this information, but there's no way Kanye didn't know he was suffering from cancer.
I wouldn't be surprised if nobody knew.
I would think,
I've asked some people that are close to him and they did not know.
I would be shocked.
If Kanye knew that and talked like that, then that's even way worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
And either way, you have to feel bad now, because I just don't feel like, I don't know, I'm getting in other people's business, but it just seems like from that hugging moment at the Louis Vuitton show, like I think it obviously meant a lot to Virgil.
Yeah.
Kanye's
support. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't, even if I'm Kanye, like, wouldn't you be proud that like someone you work with became this massive success?
Yeah.
Like, I would think so. Like, If someone left here and became the creative director of Louis Vuitton, I'd be like, oh shit, we made it. Just invite me to the show.
But I can see you doing an interview and be like, yeah, you mean my assistant?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
Well, rest in peace, man. I can't believe it was a shocker.
Yeah,
I don't know what else to say.
definitely.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about Thanksgiving. You want to talk about Thanksgiving?
Yeah, how was your
We can
Thanksgiving?
lighten up the mood.
How was your
Thanksgiving was, well, I went to Nashville. I go to Nashville.
Why did you go there?
I have an aunt and uncle who live there, and they're very close with my mom and dad. And so my mom and dad drive down from Ohio.
Okay.
I fly out, and that's just been our tradition for like the last 8 years. But I missed it last year, obviously, because of COVID. And it was, look, it was great to see my family. I haven't seen them in 2 years.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Wait, you haven't seen your parents in 2 years?
No.
No, not through all COVID. Because I felt too nervous to,
Wow.
like there's some potential risks. And I felt like, God forbid
You bring it.
brought home the LA strain and something happened, I wouldn't be able to live with myself.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I didn't risk any of it. So no, so I would have went to Christmas at the end of 2019. Yeah. So almost 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
Yep. So anyway, so it was good. It was great to see family. Here's the problem. As I get older, I'm in this weird phase in my life where I'm 34 years old. So I'm a legit adult.
Yeah.
35.
34. Completely, just almost pretty much mid 34 and a half, pretty much. But I don't have kids. So it's sort of like you still do the young guy things. Like kids, I'm sure you guys have told me a little bit, like it sort of gets you into this other bucket.
Yeah.
Like people have to come to you. There's the kids involved there. So I'm still like living the kid lifestyle a little bit. And so just like, as I get older, like just kind of sitting around for long periods of time. Nashville was completely shut down, meaning like I'm sure there were bars and stuff open, but I wasn't trying to do that. So like no restaurants, literally only like 7-Elevens.
Wow.
And
Shut down because they just don't think customers are going to come.
yeah, I think so. I tried to run and go get Starbucks. I was like, oh, at least I'll get some coffee, get out of the house, closed.
Wow.
And so we watched probably 10 hours straight of Shark Tank. So my parents. So
what's the business? Did you guys come up with something?
my mom and dad at this point should be business experts. Like they should start a private equity fund because they should know.
Why don't they go on Shark Tank? We can make that happen.
They should. They should.
They just need a business idea.
They'd probably nail it.
Yeah.
They know everyone's intricate little things. They know
what
everything.
buttons to push.
Yeah. Oh, Barbara loves when you make eye contact. So that we did that, and then we had an incredible feast. Nothing like some home cooked food.
You guys cooked it.
Yeah, and uncle, yeah, and it was great. But that's the predicament.
Yeah.
Because now I'm coming up on Christmas. Christmas, I usually go to Ohio.
Yeah.
It's a lot of sitting
Family
around
time,
and hanging out, and I don't know what to do. I don't know whether like maybe should I just hurry up and have kids?
Yeah.
Does that solve this?
That's solved.
Makes this easier.
So can I just talk about my experience Thanksgiving?
Yep.
I don't think I've ever been more tired in my life than Thursday, 7 p.m.
I would have liked that. Why were you so tired?
Because we obviously have Mav. We had people over. We had Amanda's sister and her husband and kids over. My mom came over.
So everyone
Amanda's
came to
mom
your house.
Everyone came over.
I like that. I already
And
like what I'm
These
hearing.
guys didn't even cook. Did you cook?
Scott cooked. He put
Okay.
the turkey in. We got it all from Whole Foods.
So I was like, what the fuck are you tired?
So you just like bought all the stuff and then
We
you
bought all the stuff, and then Scott,
Made
my
the-
brother-in-law, put it in the oven.
Yeah.
I'm completely irrelevant. Like I'm incompetent, irrelevant, all of it.
Yeah,
like
got it.
combined when
Yeah.
it comes to that stuff.
Yeah.
And normally when our son goes to sleep, it's like chill time. Like you just get on your phone, maybe take a nap, do whatever. But now you have all these people over.
Yeah.
And you're just running around.
Yeah. So what are you doing? Like chasing kids around?
Yeah, you're just like it was really fun. I'm not like, but I was just exhausted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think to your point, Drama,
Have kids.
one, have kids.
Because then you
it
say like,
changes
I can't fly. You guys got to come out here.
Yes.
Because I would have died just to be tired. I was so restless
Oh my God.
from just sitting.
At 7
you know
p.m.,
what time-
I felt like it was 3 in the morning.
You know what time I went to sleep Thanksgiving night? Guess what time I went to sleep?
what time?
In bed, teeth brushed, eyes closed, gone. 8:30.
No way.
8:30 in the morning.
You know, it
On
was so
Thursday.
funny because
Thursday night, I went to sleep at 8:30. I woke up at 6. So I slept like 9.5 hours. I slept well.
Yeah.
One of our kids was up, went and grabbed him. The other one woke up. I grabbed them both. You know, my in-laws live in Orange County. I took them to this coffee shop near the beach. We got them an acai bowl. I got some coffee. I came back and the day started. But like, I think I was telling you this before the podcast. Before we had kids, we would always do Thanksgiving at my in-laws' place. And whatever, we'd have food and we hang out and it's whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, I remember at one of those moments like 5 years ago, I was like, man, the only thing that's going to spice this thing up is going to be kids because...
And it worked.
And so now we have kids. And so...
I see.
Okay, all you
Let's see
care
where this
about
is
is like
headed.
spicing up Thanksgiving, have kids.
Well, I
kids and Trump. Kids and Trump. Those are the two things that can spice up politics.
Yeah, but like...
just bring up Trump, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so here's a question for you because I think we're obviously vegetarians, but there's a growing chorus
Okay.
of meat eaters that says Thanksgiving dinner is complete shit.
So I'm going to give you my opinion before.
Wait, no, you're a vegetarian, so you have no opinion.
No, but I just want to see visually. I don't mind people that eat meat. When I see the Thanksgiving spread, it looks disgusting. Like,
Off-putting.
why do you have cranberry?
No, but there.
Yeah,
I
I
think.
don't-
What is that?
I don't know. I don't-
But why do people feel emboldened to say Thanksgiving is trash?
Pilgrims. Fucking pilgrims.
Okay, look, here's my thought. I loved our meal.
Okay.
It was great. I look forward to it.
What part of the meal? The turkey?
My favorite part is the turkey's really good. Then there's some mashed potatoes and gravy. And then there's this like cornbread type thing that my aunt makes. And just that all together is this really
It's
great-
heavy.
It's heavy as shit.
Yeah.
It's this really great experience. You eat it all. You eat leftovers. You eat it all day. But and it was amazing. But I will say, somebody posted, this might be part of the movement that you're referring to,
There's a movement. There's a real movement. I'm not joking.
that said Thanksgiving dinner is trash. And if it wasn't, we wouldn't only eat it once a year. And I was
Right.
like,
Yeah, it was that good. We're gluttonous people. Like, we would eat it every day, all
yeah,
day.
because I don't know if you were like, yo, you want to go get that Thanksgiving dinner like this Wednesday? I'd be like, right? So maybe it's just because.
It just
There's a
feels
movement.
bland.
I'm telling you, there's a movement.
So what's going to happen? Are they going to
I
get
feel
rid
like
of it?
there's going to be a Thanksgiving food revolution. Thanksgiving's not going anywhere, but I think the food options won't be because.
Damn.
All right, you're the meat eater. You tell
Yeah.
me. Everyone says turkey's too dry. Is that true or not? I have no idea.
Well, that's where. So I kind of go with. I put the gravy on it,
Okay.
wetting it up a little. But yeah,
But even stuffing is dry.
I don't
Like, we
eat
had
stuffing.
vegetarian stuffing. It was good.
Yeah.
Tasted good. It
It's
just was dry.
Yeah, I put gravy on everything.
It got it.
But that's my solution. But I don't do the cranberry. I don't understand the cranberry thing. I don't know. It's a
I mean, I
decent
was
point.
tanked, so I don't even care. Like, I was fine.
That's the other thing. Like my family doesn't drink.
Nobody drinks.
Nobody drinks.
Really?
No.
No wine?
Not even a
Not a
wine,
beer?
bro.
No.
Cousin Gary's not having a beer?
Cousin Gary wasn't there. That's Ohio.
Your brother?
No.
Nobody
He
had
drinks, but he didn't have a drink.
Nobody had a drink.
No.
I mean, all of us have had 8 bottles of wine.
we had multiple bottles of wine for sure.
Yeah, I think if you.
We had margaritas. We had wine.
Yeah.
It sounds like.
I mean, if I'm not
kids-
eating turkey, I gotta at least get drunk.
Yeah. Because I think that's a big part of it, right? I mean, isn't getting drunk part of the.
I mean, yeah, I was like, they put out my in-laws put out an incredible cheese plate around like 2:30.
Yeah.
I had a couple of those. I was like, I could use a tequila.
Yeah.
So by 3 p.m., I
Pairs
was
nicely with
Yeah,
cheese.
there's football going on.
football, tequila.
See, my parents don't watch sports. It was this literally.
Yeah.
I think that I think a kid allows you to sort of call the shots.
Yeah.
I think that's the difference.
You determine what happens the whole day.
Yeah, because I'm still, like I said, I'm still living that young life where I guess I could do
Okay,
it.
you have a child.
Yeah.
Next year you drop, we're not really parents.
I'm into it.
But then everyone has to come to LA or wherever, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
You're not going to Nashville.
Kids,
No.
once you have kids, you don't have to travel. Which
That's
is
the thing.
amazing.
I think that's the trick. Because I think that okay, look, here's how this plays out. If I said, hey, everyone has to come to me for Thanksgiving, well, that's not my aunt and uncle, cousin. Everyone has to come just because I don't feel like coming to your. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Throw a kid in the mix.
They can't say anything.
No, and they're going to want to see the baby.
Yeah, you got to see the baby.
You got to see the baby. All of a sudden, the leverage switches.
Oh, yeah. You have a baby, it's a fucking wrap.
Yeah, okay, I
You
need a
could
baby.
call the shots.
I need a baby by Thanksgiving. I'm just saying, man. I can't. At 35, I don't know if I can watch 10 hours of Shark Tank sober.
I mean, what's crazy is like, we've never really like watched, like sat down as a family and watched like movies or shit with our kid or with Dominic. And we watched like Sandlot as like a family.
Yeah.
And
Was it
it was fun. It was just like the beast.
Because the kid's watching it.
Yeah, it's just interesting just to watch his reaction to it. And
I feel like the kids really spice up the vibe too.
oh yeah, because they're throwing shit fits, they're making a mess.
Because I'm guessing like a few years ago when you're just hanging out at the in-laws, like it's fun.
It's
But
fun,
It's like,
but-
hey, Dee, how
Yeah,
you been?
yeah.
How much can you talk about
Still
Bitcoin?
selling clothes?
There's no
Yeah.
Bitcoin talk when kids are around.
No, there's none.
No,
Yeah,
it's
because
never.
you're managing the
Trying to
kids.
get the
Yeah.
toys out
You're
of
just
their
trying to
mouth.
get them to eat. You're trying to get them to shit. You're trying to get them to sleep.
Yeah, people are like,
If you do that, you fucking won Thanksgiving.
yeah, I think what we found. I think
Yeah, there's actually like we tried to talk about DeFi for like 30 seconds, but then kids got involved
Yep.
and it's over.
Oh yeah, we didn't get past like we're just hoping no kids have diarrhea tonight. Like that was our goal.
Yeah. I'm into it. I think I found the solution. But it was good. It was good to see family, and it's crazy how much. Like I'm sure they felt the same way about me, but like 2 years, like people look different
Wow.
a little bit. Like there's just more gray
So
hair.
what's the conversation? You're not drinking. You're watching Shark Tank. What do you guys talk about? Because we can't even talk because we have so many kids in the
Yeah, I
mix.
need a kid.
It's just like chaos.
I need
Yeah.
a kid.
There's no conversation.
I think
We didn't have one conversation.
We were
though.
talking
for 4 days now. One conversation.
Our conversations are like we're watching Shark Tank, and then it's like, oh, Chris, you're friends with Barbara, right?
Yeah.
And, well, not really. One time we did a panel together, and let's see the picture. Do you have a picture? And then find the picture. And then, what was she like? Oh, this. How do you do those public speaking things? Those things seem so scary. Oh, yeah, okay.
Got
Oh my gosh! Look, an electric toothbrush. Oh, great margins. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just.
But no one's talking
what are
about
you
like
up to?
no
There's no crypto, no sports.
What about
we had
politics?
fantasy talk
Politics.
because we had fantasy talk.
No politics.
How about is that like a rule? Like in our family, we have a rule.
I think that. So I don't know, but I think my family is in the bucket of like would probably complain about Biden, but it aren't Republican.
Got it.
So I don't even feel like it's very
Okay,
contentious.
so like religion, anything?
No. Last year 2 years ago when I went for Thanksgiving, we got into a debate about. Oh, we talked about this. Whether like the Joel Osteens of the world are scammers. That was a pretty heated
Conversation.
That was a good showdown.
Yeah.
We never find the conclusion. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to come in with a little
With a baby.
preparation, either a baby or like come down with notes and say,
Well, I don't even
how
think
am I going to drop a bomb on
I
this
actually
kid?"
don't even think he
1
needs a
hour
baby.
in.
There's no controversy. The baby ends the controversy.
Yeah.
You
but
don't even
the-
have the controversy
Yeah, you're right.
because the baby is the reason why no one cares about
Anything.
anything
But
other
the
than
baby,
like,
everyone's got to come to you.
yeah.
There's action.
Yeah.
Maybe I need 2 babies.
Yeah. You have 2 kids that walk. Let me tell you, no one, my in-laws
There
were
won't
like,
be
they
Shark
were
Tank
literally
for
like,
fucking years.
Yeah.
they were literally like, we're going to go take a nap. Can you guys handle this for like 2 hours?
That's what I'm talking about. I want to be exhausted. I felt so, and like I tried to wander down to the hotel gym at like 10 p.m. and it was just like not a good gym. And because I just needed to like I was just sitting. I flew in Wednesday night, slept, and then sat for the whole next day. And not to sound whatever here, but now that I'm a little bit more physically active, just sitting all day is really tough.
Yeah.
Like it actually affects me. And I feel,
But have a baby. That'll change everything.
chase that
I have
little
a
guy
45
around.
pound weight that I have to chase around all
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we found the solution. But it was good. It was great to see them. And Nashville is a really cool city. We got to experience it a little bit on Friday before I left. But Nashville's cool. And they were saying like, oh, here's a couple things. Because I did some group chat research. Number one, a lot of people moving there, especially from California.
Wow.
So they're feeling the incoming where, we're talking about everyone leaving here is going to like Austin and Nashville. Also, here's the kicker. Huge uptick in crime.
In Nashville.
In Republican Nashville. So.
Is Nashville Republican? I don't think it is.
Well, Nashville is probably, no, their mayor.
Nashville's technically liberal, but Tennessee's Republican.
Well, Tennessee's very Republican, but are you sure Nashville mayor?
Yeah, the Californians brought the crime with them.
Yeah, isn't Live Nation opening in Nashville?
Everyone is. The WME office in Nashville is ridiculous the way it looks. It's insane. Everyone's there.
Oh, he's a fucking Democrat. That's why.
Yeah. The goddamn Democrats. It's law and order.
Just kidding. I'm a Democrat too. But they were saying that, crime, like way up. And like my uncle was like, oh yeah, I wouldn't like, past 9 p.m. I wouldn't walk like 2 blocks that way. I wouldn't, like lots of cars were getting broken into. It just sounded like the same.
You should have
LA
been like, Uncle, pause. Let me tell you what's happening in Los Angeles.
Come on out to Grand Theft Auto in fucking LA.
Let me tell you something called Black Friday.
You guys want to take a second to talk about Ledger? D, you're up and running, just full pumping on that Ledger, huh? You just loaded it up with Shibu Inu and you're just to the moon in it.
No, I don't fuck with Shibu, but
YOLO to the moon.
Yeah, so I set up my Ledger Live account. Quite easy. And you can start trading like any of these other platforms immediately. So I did 2 things. I sent some ETH from one of my other wallets, from my MetaMask wallet. I sent it over to Ledger. And so I wanted to see how easy it was. That was easy. And then I bought some Ethereum. And there's 2 ways to buy it. You can buy it on your debit card, credit card, which is great.
It's easy.
Or you could send a wire.
Yeah.
So I set it up so I can send a wire. So I'm going to send a wire tomorrow and I'll credit my account. But here's the thing. The interesting thing is you can stake also pretty easily on Ledger. And so they have a thing with Lido where you get 4.9% on your ETH. Mm-hmm. It's extremely easy and it's not like a locked in stake. So it's like pretty liquid. Like you can just, if you sell it and you want to trade it, buy something, that's fine. But like, imagine having a checking account earning 4.9%.
How does your 4.9% work when it's so volatile? Like, is it 4.9
of that day?
Of that day?
Yeah, the APY of that day.
Got it.
And so I was thinking about it. Someone asked a question, I think on Twitter or maybe in our Discord, of like, how would you, if you were to set up an account for each of your children, like how would you do that? Because it's not that easy. Like technically I don't know how to set up a Ledger or Coinbase or any of those for my kids. So what I thought was, here's an easier way. I'm going to set up 2 ledgers for each of them and just give them that ledger when they turn 18.
That's cool.
And say, okay, here's what we got for you.
Yeah.
You got some cum rocket and good luck if it's worth anything.
I mean,
back in 2021, it was supposed to go to the moon. I don't know.
Right now, you have nothing. You're fucking homeless.
Right now, you're broke.
When Dominic was born, Amanda and I put money for Dominic in Bitcoin and Ethereum. I think he's up like 20x.
Wow.
Dominic's rich.
Wow. Luckily, Anand took care of your kid's college.
So the cum rocket.
Did it go to the moon? Did it not? I don't know.
Luckily, your rich uncle took care of you.
For real. Oh my gosh.
But
that's amazing.
It's really easy to trade. I set up a trading account. All they ask you is you take your front and back of your driver's license, a selfie. It verifies you. You put your address, and boom! Like I was buying crypto within like 2 minutes.
Oh, that's awesome!
It's great,
and it's safe as can be.
Safe as can be. The thing about Ledger, like I don't like. It just feels so safe. It's so like every time you have to ask your password, every time you have to do this, and it's like I don't know. It feels very safe. And I set a bunch of ETH. And then on top of that, I bought a bunch of stuff over the last kind of like 2 days. It's really easy. It's safe. I love it. It's incredible.
All right. There you have it. Back to the episode.
You know what really saved Thanksgiving? If I really have to like put a bow on it, is Omicron didn't come till Friday.
Yeah.
Right?
Because nobody could talk about it, you mean?
We didn't know about it till Friday.
Yeah. But are you saying because you wouldn't debate it or because
you wouldn't debate it.
Yeah.
We didn't know
Like,
that there's
Should we even
variant.
be here? Yeah.
Let me tell you what about Omicron is on Friday in Nashville, I was like, we were at this like crowded.
South African bar.
Yeah. Yes. Little did you know.
Just random South
There's a
Africans in
themed
Nashville.
bar. Yeah. And I was already kind of like, oh, this is like a little, like a little much. It's probably the most crowded thing I've been to. And then Omicron hits. And, if I would have known that earlier, I probably wouldn't have even went to the thing,
Really?
I don't know.
So I'll tell you a funny story.
Omicron's everywhere, by the way.
Friday,
For sure.
It's 100%.
If they're saying like, oh, it's kind of here, kind of there, it's everywhere.
Friday, I had to work, so I went to our warehouse. I drove back, I think like 2:30, and
Picked up Omni on the Bradley terminal.
So-
Picked up some Ami on
I ended up back in Orange County, and I exited the freeway, and I had to pick up something from Whole Foods, and I was like, fuck. I was only going to the warehouse, so I didn't take my mask.
Yep.
And then I was like, I'm in Orange County. Do I need a mask? I walk right in, no mask. You don't need a fucking mask
You don't need a mask in Nashville.
anywhere.
Okay.
Which is crazy because we live in LA. Like I go to Starbucks in LA, and like, God forbid anyone breathes. Everyone's like
Yeah.
scared. And then I go to the Whole Foods in Huntington Beach, and no one gives a fuck.
Yeah. It's a totally different world.
Do you
It's
think
like Florida.
Omni breaks America?
No, Omni is no one cares.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like we're 50-50 on the edge of no one cares. Everything lightens up. We go, whatever. And like a full another like panic mode.
So I'll tell you. So Friday, the stock market was open, went down a lot.
The stock market should not be open the day after Thanksgiving.
Why? Do you think those Wall Street people want to be with their families?
No, but
They're like dying.
Omni
They're like,
literally-
let's have an extended day.
like another episode of Shark
Yeah.
Tank. Let me trade.
Omni created the stock market.
Yeah.
Omni created the stock market by 1,000 points.
It was good for Coupang. I saw it was up.
Yeah, we're COVID stock.
So,
No wonder you don't seem upset.
So the stock market goes down, and all the
Peloton was up.
all the companies.
Zoom was up.
All the old,
Yeah, all
the old
friends.
killers.
Yeah. Let me tell you
Back
what anyone.
again.
No, but if Omicron is real, let me tell you what anyone's doing. Not buying a fucking Peloton.
Oh my God. What if you waited the whole last 2 years and you're like, you know
You know
what?
what? This Omicron really got me.
It's my God.
Here's the thing about Omni, because like I don't want to like get into the politics of it, but you have a liberal administration that has public tweets, both Biden and Harris, talking about the ban of travel to China or China to here,
Yeah.
and how that was so criminal and whatever. And then they just banned South African travel. And I was like, if those guys are willing to ban it,
That means it's really bad.
there must be some signaling that it's way worse than we know. That's the only like kind of tea leaves I don't know anything about the virus. I know nothing about the data, but the fact that a liberal administration that vilified Trump for banning travel is banning travel now.
Yeah.
I'm like, what data do they have that they're willing to do that?
I also feel like they could think it would get their vaccine numbers up,
Maybe.
cause a little panic.
Oh yeah.
Because I've also heard that there's a chance they might, like the definition of fully vaccinated might change to 3 shots.
So
Wow.
for the NBA, you're not fully vaccinated unless you have a booster.
Wow.
That seems kind of fucked up.
It was crazy.
And then the real fucked up thing is the booster may change because of Omni.
Yeah.
Like we may need a different
Well,
booster.
Moderna said they'll
Yeah.
have in 2022 the early
An Omni
2022.
booster?
Right. An
Yeah.
Omni booster.
We're just going to be living on boosters, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be every quarter.
And that's why people who are anti-vax are
They're
like,
never
fuck
going
this.
The
You take 10
anti-vax
shots?
I think
Yeah.
Omni.
Imagine you have to catch up.
Yeah.
You're like,
all right, whatever. Just
I'm here for
ban
my
me from
10.
everything. I'm good. I'll just move to
Omni
Texas.
basically put a
Absolutely.
like nail in the coffin for any anti-vaxxer.
Yeah, they're done. It's over. And
Yeah, because that thing mutated so much. There's no way the vaccines are that effective against that. The
No.
spike protein mutated like 24 times.
So then
Delta
that's-
was 9.
That's the conversation. Like we're talking about boosters right now, and I'm like, do I wait for Omni or do I get the?
You got to wait for that new drop
yeah.
coming in this fucking in January.
Yeah, and I think
Not
that
January, March.
I don't understand the stock market drop because I don't think there's anything that can happen that's going to change our actual life in the near term. I could be completely wrong, but I don't think anyone's going to accept it.
I don't
If
know.
you start telling people you can't do this,
They're like rioting in other countries.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think like, I know Europe has been very strict. I think the only thing America can get away with no, and I don't think anyone's gonna give a shit, shut the borders. Don't fucking let anyone in.
It's also
Which I
kinda-
actually don't,
That's fine.
as a liberal person, like, fine, fuck it, shut it down.
It-
Why are we
yeah.
affecting our way of life?
our
Yeah, that's
view
fine.
of
Yeah.
international travel is pretty much like done for a while because
Yeah.
like there's no chance Hong Kong's letting people in ever again
Yeah.
without a 21-day quarantine.
Yeah.
They found 3 people with Omni.
In Hong Kong?
Yeah, in quarantine, like day 8.
I saw
in
there was a
quarantine.
flight from South Africa to somewhere in like Belgium or whatever.
No,
it
it
was.
was South Africa to I think Netherlands, and
That's
60 people of 600, so 10%
60 people.
Tested positive?
Yes.
between 2 flights. So
Oh, Omni's
300,
everywhere.
300.
They said it's like potentially 500 times more transmissible. I'm not kidding. Like they were like, oh, Delta's like 20 and this one's 500. But they also like, I also saw, I mean, nobody knows anything right now, but I also saw a story that like it's way less severe. Because one of the things is like viruses can get more transmissible, but often less severe when that happens.
So I'll tell
Can
you.
I
I'll tell you a
give
virus.
the anti-vax conspiracy?
Yeah,
Because
please. Yeah, what am I saying? Yes.
he listens to the pod. I'm not going to say his name. He's in our fantasy football chat. He's an anti-vax. And he's like, he
knows
listens,
who he
so
is
he
now.
knows who he is. He knows who I'm talking about. I'm
Yeah.
not going to say his name. He says, is there a coincidence that right when Big Pharma was trying to get kids vaccinated, that Omni affects kids?
Oh, that's what they're saying?
Yeah, now they're saying Omni affects kids. Whereas,
Hey, I think it's possible. I think our friend might be right. Whoever we're talking about. You want to know one thing? One of my venting things is I fell asleep. Okay, so in Nashville, no one cares about masks. I had mine on me. I never once was asked to put it on in any restaurant, store, nothing. I was on the flight on the way back, asleep, and my mask went like below, like to my mouth. And the guy woke me up
Yeah.
to pull my mask up.
that happened to me on a LA to Miami flight.
That to me seems so obnoxious.
I was so upset.
Mhm.
I was fast asleep on a red eye.
I just did 2 days of Shark Tank sitting on a couch. Finally got a little
I'm
shut
immune,
eye.
motherfucker.
Got a little shut eye to make this flight go faster. And he nudged me awake and just went like this.
You know what's crazy?
And I'm assuming it's not a lay flat, so it must have been tough to.
Nashville.
Well,
don't got
Nashville
lay
is
flags.
no lay flat.
I was
That's
90
tough to-
degrees.
It's tough to fall asleep.
Yes. Tell me about it. I was 20 minutes into my nap. And this guy woke. It was just like, you really think? And like, also, my mask is like this Nike. Like,
Yeah.
this isn't stopping anything. In
Yeah.
my sleep.
Yeah.
The only person next to me is Kareen. Come on.
What's funny is when I flew back from Miami, I was full on sleeping because I took a very early flight, and I just took my mask off. I was like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I'm tired. I haven't slept.
My flight to New York, I did that and no one cared.
And the flight attendant didn't say anything. The flight was completely empty, so maybe that's why they didn't say anything. But
That
I
Ami.
was so nervous that
It's because Ami didn't hit you.
yeah. I mean, I can't. Switching topics. I'm going to Miami for Art Basel Tuesday,
Oh.
which is going to be Omni essential.
You're Omni.
No, I literally I kind of just freaked out today, and I was like, oh my God, all these fucking Europeans and South Africans are going to be there.
Oh,
They're gonna
Omni and
sound like a Trump supporter.
Art Basel honestly is going to be Omni fucking Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That's when you're going Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Yeah, you need to stay away. You're Zencastering for the 2 weeks after.
Yeah. You're
I'm definitely
quarantined.
getting tested when I get back because
You might need to get tested like for
there's a
2
lot
weeks.
of foreigners at Art Basel. A lot of foreigners.
There's so much
It's
Omni.
Omnis everywhere.
yeah.
It's honestly everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone with Omni yet.
We don't, but you just see where people
problem
are getting
is,
tested positive.
Whenever I hear people don't speak English, I just walk away. Just leave me alone. Don't talk to me.
How crazy is this? The moment we open international
Made
travel,
everyone racist.
the moment we open international travel, Omni arrives.
I think we got to ban. We got to ban
There's 2
international
weeks.
travel.
We had 2 weeks.
Ban international travel. If you didn't have kids, you wouldn't be saying that.
I think we as Americans should be able to go everywhere. Everyone else, you can't come to us.
Yeah, you just go scoop up some Omni and bring it back home.
Well, I just don't understand. Like, we let in 3-4 days of flights knowing about Omni. Why don't we just contact trace every fucking person, go out, literally ask them to get tested, and if they're and pay for their quarantine. You're talking about, let's say it costs $50 million to do that.
Mm-hmm.
There's not that many people, like thousands of people.
We're just not that organized.
We're not that organized. Absolutely.
Because if we did that, then Omni never enters this country and we get to go in with the party. And I get to go out in Miami freely and not have to worry about.
Omni. You're getting Omni.
I hope I don't
You
get
still haven't gotten COVID this whole time, right?
Not that I know.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
That Omni, man, 500 times more transmissible.
Oh my
Okay.
God. I cannot believe people are.
Omni's hot.
Last but not least, check in.
Yeah.
What's up with Black Friday? Do we have any early numbers? Sales were up, sales were down, as far as like just general sales in the world?
So CNBC is reporting, generally, overall speaking, that Black Friday was not great.
Really?
Yeah.
Even online?
So they're saying that last year was 9 billion, this year was 8.9 billion, which is makes sense because last year
That's
was
online or if,
that's online.
Okay.
And but here's I think the big shocker was Black Friday shopping in stores drops 28% from pre-pandemic levels. So this is from 2019. Traffic was way up from last year, fine. But the fact that it was down from 2019 was very, very shocking. And I talked to a bunch of retailers over the weekend, and a lot of people said like their physical retail business was okay. Everyone kind of reported that like the bigger guys, that their online was soft. This isn't a supply chain thing. I just think people are just overspent. And I talked anecdotally to people that went shopping on Saturday and Sunday too.
yeah.
They said it wasn't busy anywhere.
Do you think that people, well, no,
There's no
'cause it's not
stimmy.
even online.
There's no stimmy. There's only the child tax credit,
So maybe lack of stimmy.
lack of stimmy. And I think, look, I spoke to a lot of brands that are hot. They did great. And they had a great kind of 48 hours, 72 hours.
But the hot brands always are.
Yeah, they're always hot. So that's not a problem. But
It's
when
the
you think about
regular-
like huge retailers,
Like Best Buy.
Yeah, Best Buy,
our mom bought a
Target,
TV.
Really?
Walmart.
Yeah.
I didn't know
She
that.
bought a little 70-incher.
In real life?
Ooh.
No, online.
Okay. IRL?
IRL.
IRL, I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
70-incher.
Yeah. She said she was going to buy an 85 and you talked her out of it.
Yeah, I did.
Wow,
That's
the
an
rich guy.
asshole move.
The rich guy.
Yeah, you just didn't want to have her to have a bigger TV than you.
No.
Is that
That's what it was.
Is that the
I was
problem?
like, she was like,
Is this an ego
85.
thing?
She got a
85.
sound bar. She got everything. And I was like, oh, you should have got the 85. He goes on and said it was too big. I was like, yes, because
Anand.
he has small TV.
Why'd you say that?
Because
How big is your TV?
She could have been like in a
small,
movie theater.
similar.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
you're
that's the problem.
insecure.
We were sitting in our living room, and she was like, "How big is this?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think
You're like 72. You should get 70.
Yeah. You fucked her, huh?
Jeez, man.
when she said 85, I was like, "How big?"
Yeah,
I
you should
know-
say, live it up,
You
Mom.
can honestly. I want in our studio. I want the whole thing to be a TV.
Yes.
The whole thing.
I literally was laying in my bed last night and I was like, I would be willing to block my closet doors.
Yes.
So I could put a 90-inch in here and just forfeit the
So I
closet.
screwed my mom.
Yeah, you
Yes.
Yeah, I think she's probably trying to watch what's the Indian love show?
Indian matchmaker.
Indian
No,
matchmaker. She could have been like in the show,
Yeah.
and you were like, "Nah, mom, let's have a little less."
I wanted to
No,
buy-
she's a Lakers. All she does is she watches
Lakers. She could have been courtside.
Yeah.
and you're like, "Mom, we want to put you up in the nose."
Yeah, you gave her third deck.
Let's tone it down.
Yeah.
It's literally if she was like, "Hey, my friend gave me gave me courtside tickets." You're like, "You should go to row 10."
There's
Yeah.
a running joke amongst my friends because my mom and I text every Lakers game, and she's a very passionate fan.
Really?
And when they're not doing well, she just starts texting me like these idiots. This
Really?
is shameful, and I
You
literally
should post it.
screenshot
You
it
send
and
it to your
send to my
friends.
friends.
Yeah. Well, now she won't be able to see.
Yeah, in her
she won't
small
know that
TV.
it
Won't be able to
It's
even see the
shameful.
score. Okay, so all right, so that's it. Anything we missed?
That's it.
That's it. Okay. All right, guys. Everyone have a great week. Everyone wish Dee well. Say a prayer for his immune system.
Well, we had a lot of birthdays actually.
Dee
We had
Murthy.
Eric Deluxe. Happy birthday
When was Eric's birthday?
yesterday.
Damn. Eric,
Haley
I'm
had her
sorry.
birthday on Friday.
I'm gonna text
My
him right
wife.
now.
Happy birthday. Jaleel White had his birthday.
Yeah.
Been a
What?
lot of birthdays this weekend.
This is what happens when you're not on Instagram that much.
Yeah, you don't know the birthdays. So happy birthday to everyone.
Okay. Happy
And,
birthday. Everyone. Sorry for being a bad friend.
If you're in Miami, holler at me.
If you're in Miami, just give them some Omni.
Yeah.
Cough on D if you're
Yeah, if you're South African, don't lose my number.
It sounds so
I
fucked
honestly
up.
think Art Basel is gonna spread this.
It's Omnibus.
We made it through Super Bowl last year or whatever.
And
2
that
years
was
ago.
the super spreader.
Yeah,
event.
and we didn't spread it.
It's like Russian roulette, kind of.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you've had like 5 trigger pulls.
Yeah.
There's only 7.
And how many holes are there?
I'm gonna say for this I was saying 7. It depends on the weapon. But no, I'd say you have 7. You have Art Basel and Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You have two more chances. Okay. That's it. Thank you guys. We'll be back on Tuesday.
Yes. R.I.P. Virgil.
RIP.